Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be getting ready and telling you guys, scary stories about me in Mexico, or scary stories that I experienced in my family that has experienced in Mexico. I do have quite a few, not quite a lot, and then quite a few that are really scary. Some of them are gonna be short, some of them are gonna be long, but I'm just gonna be getting ready and showing you guys the process while I tell you guys, everything that goes on in Mexico. Because anyone who knows Latin America, or especially from people from Latin America, you guys know all like the scariness that goes on there, like the spirituality and all that stuff. So I hope you guys like my video, and I already did my eyebrows because if I did on camera, like I wouldn't be able to like people. It's just kind of hard to explain. But if you ever want a tutorial for my eyebrows and my eyelashes, let me know. So my first story is gonna be me at my grandma's house when I was a little girl. I'd always love to, stay at my grandma's house on my mom's side, and I would always stay on the couch because I just really liked to stay in the living room on the couch specifically. I just don't know why. But my grandma's couch, the one I would stay on, it would directly face the backyard to like, the screen door, because and plus, even if we had the door like closed, there was a window where you could see outside, and then we had like three other windows like surrounding that living room, so I could see literally everything. But as a kid, I wasn't really scared of much, so I don't give a fuck. But I remember I would always just stay there, and my grandma told me, well, my brother actually told me to scare the fuck out of me, but it was actually a true story because I asked my grandma and she said it was true. But my brother, he told me, he was like, "Did you know a little kid died here?" And I was like, "What? I didn't know that." Like, and it was like a little kid, a little girl my age, like I think it was like 5 or 6, and basically I was just going to sleep, went to sleep, and then I wake up and I'm like, the hell, like I just randomly woke up at like, I don't know, I think it was like 3 or 4 a.m. But my mommy always told me, like that's the haunting hour. Like my mom's not really into like all that spooky shit, but she just likes to fuck around now and then. But she told me, oh yeah, she's like, those are the haunting hours. They don't play with the devil and all of this and that. So I was like, oh fuck no. I tried to go back to sleep and I couldn't. And my memory is a little bit short because obviously I was like 5 or 6. But from what I remember, I woke up and there's like a little kid telling me like, "Vámonos a jugar, vámonos, ¿quieres jugar conmigo?" Which basically means like, "Come on, let's go play. Like, you want to go play with me?" I heard it, right? Yeah, I heard it. I didn't see him, but and then and I got told Ghost was a girl, so I was like, what the fuck? But I just go back to sleep. I'm a kid, so I really didn't give a fuck. I was like, anyways. So I go back to sleep. Next day goes by, nothing really happens. I go back to my grandma's house to go sleep there again, and bitch, tell me why. I wake up again, same hour again, and there's a ball bouncing in the backyard. Because like I told you, I could see the backyard from that couch, and I saw the ball bouncing. But I don't know why, but as a kid I had a lot of balls, so I didn't really give a fuck. I think maybe I did though, because I did tell my siblings. I was like, oh my god guys, this happened. They're like, that didn't happen. I was like, anyways. But yeah, that happened. That's the first story. I really have a lot of stories, guys, so like it's just gonna be a lot of stories, a lot of random stories mixing that, scary, not scary, scary, chill, whatever seems chill to you. But oh, keep in mind, my town in Mexico is really known for, it's known for, it's not known for it, but people who live there know that it used to be a graveyard. So there's a lot of spirituality, a lot of spirits there. But I'll be right back, guys. I need to go help my little sister with the cookies. So my dad and my mom, they would let my aunt stay at our house in Mexico. In the meantime, while her house was getting built, because all that shit. And she would stay in my parents' bedroom, and my parents' bedroom is connected, not connected, but the window, it faces the backyard, so you can hear and see everything that goes on there. And she usually said like every now and then the radio we have in the house would go off and on and like randomly without touching it, or like especially when, because our town, the power goes out a lot, so you know. But she said once it went off, there's a power outage, and you know that's weird. How's it gonna go off during a power outage? Because it was a cord one, and that was like the least of it though. But she said it would just go off, you know, without doing anything and shit. And this one night, she was going to sleep, and she heard something in the backyard, like gibbling, like boom, boom, boom. And we use that house in Mexico whenever we go, every now and then, just to, because that's our house. If we stay there, like, so obviously we're gonna have toys and shit there for us because we were still kids. And she said that she looks in the backyard, and there's like a basketball, like boom, 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 just bouncing. And it was like bouncing as if someone was still bouncing it, like like continuously, not like a boom, like if someone just did it once and then just goes off like a normal ball. Like if they're continuously like bouncing the ball, like. And that's what my aunt told me about my house in Mexico. I've had my own experiences in the house too. So I remember this one time, I think I was like 11, and we were getting ready to go to the plaza, and I was like, okay, this and that, and my sister was like putting on her makeup, and we're the ones who shared the room at that time, and because we have our own room there, so we were sharing a room. My sister was getting ready doing her makeup because she was like 14, 15 at that time, and some shit like that. But she was getting ready. She goes to the bathroom because she had to go do something, and I remember I was left alone in the room for a bit, right? Like, so I was like, okay, whatever. And then I was just laying down, and girl, tell me why I'm shaking a little bit because I need to eat. Like I have 8 bites to eat. Anyways, the drawer, we have like a little vintage cabinet, but there's no way like it being old can cause that, or like anything literally in the world can cause that. But it fucking started shaking, like shaking like that, and then it just opened like that. I was like, what the fuck? And then I panicked a little bit. I got up, I was like, and then we have on our drawer, like our cabinet, big ass thing we have, it has like a thing to open so you can put like little things in there. It's like a cabinet, right? And that shit, it literally flew open, like there's no, like, I can understand maybe something like that flowing open, but a drawer, like an actual drawer, like legitimately like just flying out like that is like, there's no explanation to that, like it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, how did that fucking happen? So that happened to me. And my sister, this never happened to me, I never got to experience it or see it, but my sister told me when she would like stay home alone, now and then at the house, the radio would go off like a lot, like without you turning it on. And that's just weird, because like, and it's the same, we still have it, the same radio since forever, and that's the same one that did it. And yeah, no. And I'm trying to think of other stories. They do have a lot of stories, like I said, but oh, La Llorona, the most famous, infamous woman of Mexico, the most infamous, scary story of Mexico. I'm getting a little bit fucking irritated because all my hair is sticking to my face. Anyways, what was I saying? La Llorona, yeah, La Llorona. I never had, I have an experience with her, but the first experience with La Llorona was with my sister. She was, what was it? She told me that, yeah, she was going to sleep, and that she randomly woke up, something like that. And in our room, we have a window, right? It doesn't really face much, but it faces like this little alleyway we have in our backyard, and it faces that way. And my sister told me she randomly woke up in the middle of the night, and she heard someone crying, like, outside of the window. And she was like, my sister's not, she is into that stuff, and like, she's not a skeptical person. I mean, she is a skeptical person, but whatever it is, I don't know. But she told us, she just started hearing outside the window, like, mis hijos. Like, I'm trying not to say without cringing, because even though it's scary, it is a little bit cringy, but She's just like, mis hijos, you know, all that, the typical, you know, that shit. Um, but you know, people who are in Mexico, they're funny as fuck. Like, they treat people, but like this legit person, this girl, was legitimately crying for her kids, and it was like, what? She said 3 a.m. in the morning, like the usual witching hours. Short little encounter, but she was scared of her ass. She couldn't go to sleep, but you know, she stuck it out anyways. And then my experience, we went through an experience together. Thankfully, when that happened to me, because if I went through shit alone, I was not gonna go through alone. Because when shit would go on in Mexico, or when I hear something in Mexico, I'd wake up my sister like, bitch, wake the fuck up. Like, anyways, I'm quick to wake up my sister, but we were both awake at that time, and we just started hearing crying, and then we text my brother like, bitch, do you hear that? And he was like, no. Like, my brother likes to act stupid. Well, not like act stupid, but he's stupid, so he was stupid. He was being stupid. He's like, no, I don't hear nothing. But me and my sister, since we were both awake, we just went to sleep, because who gives a fuck? You know what she gonna do to us? But anyways, that happens, we go to sleep. Then it happens to my brother too. And then to my brother, it happened by himself, guys. It was funny, because when he experienced it, it was by himself for once. I'm like, see, bitch, now you know how it feels. But all of a sudden, like, when we remind him of it, he's like, no, that never happened. Like, girl, what? But anyways, ooh, a recent scary story for me though. So I went last year with my cousin. We went together, and we were literally telling scary stories before that. We were like telling each other shit, and like shit that goes on here. And she was like, oh hell no, I'm gonna go to sleep. And then we were still talking, you know, not asleep yet, but we were talking. And we hear like at the door, and we're like, who could that be? Because like, it's what, it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. bro, when that happened. And we were like, what the fuck? And we just look at each other, and we're like, because who the fuck could that be, you know? But anyways, that was scary for real, because the person, I feel like, yeah, the person came back. And you know the reason why it's so scary? Because to get through the door, to knock on the door we have in the front of our house, you have to get through the gate, which is locked. And not only is the gate locked, it's super tall, and it has like the pointy shit. So we're like, and my brother wasn't in Mexico with us, so he couldn't have been doing that. And my sister was asleep, and everyone else was asleep. So it was like, that was scary, bro, because it's like, who else could knock that way if there's no way you could knock? Because you can't knock on the, what's it called, the gate, because it's just metal. It's not gonna sound like that. It's not gonna sound like a fucking door. But that person was legitimately knocking. It was like, girl, what the hell? Like, that was scary. But guys, not gonna lie, I am gonna have to cut the video short, because I'm not running out of stories, but I do want to keep these stories for like another time, because I want to be able to keep these story times for when I go to Mexico, and do a Mexico scary time story tell there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and like the video, and stay tuned for my next video, and please interact with me. I love to interact with you guys and have people interact with me. Anyways, bye guys, please subscribe and stay in tune for more videos like this, and hopefully just, you know, more cool stuff in general. But subscribe to me. Guys, not gonna lie, I am gonna cut the video short, so, because I am running out of stories. But I do have more stories to tell, but it's only because I want to keep them for like a story time in Mexico. I feel like that would be funner, you know, like telling the story times while I'm actually there. But stay in tune for more videos. Subscribe to me. Sorry I had to cut the video short, but thank you guys for watching. Please interact with me. I'd love to interact with you guys. But anyways, see you next video, guys. Bye bye.